I know I've taken my time with this one, but hey, I've got people to see, bills to pay, and I stupidly started a game with a single save file on stream, meaning if I couldn't stream, I couldn't play it. But on top of that, I wanted to take my time with this. I wanted to unlock everything, play levels multiple times, and really get an in-depth feel, especially considering the game's controversy. However, before we go any further, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you guys to hit that subscribe button. This content is made possible by my wonderful subscribers, so become a member of the Hatchling Empire and hit that button for me. Leave a like and a comment while you're at it, and let's talk about Sonic Colors Ultimate. I played Sonic Colors Ultimate on the base PS4 model, and I bought the Digital Deluxe Pre-Order Edition, giving me early access. This made me pretty happy for the most part, and I still feel that way walking away from the game. Now I hear you, off to the comments you go to shoot me hate, but hear me out. I'm going to be as objective as I can during this. I could approach this as the crazy Sonic fanboy that I am, or as the pessimistic troll that I also am. So I'm going to try and sit somewhere between these two perspectives and judge the game fairly. So the first thing we should talk about is bugs. That's all people are talking about. So here's my experience. I have not encountered a single game-breaking bug. My save file is still okay. I've had no crashes, and my room hasn't turned into an epileptic attack-inducing nightmare. This is my personal experience with Sonic Colors Ultimate. I'm not discounting the opinion of anyone who's experienced these issues, and my heart goes out to those who have, especially to those who bought it on the Nintendo Switch. God, I'm glad I made the right call. I was this close. But my review has to be based off my actual experiences with the game, otherwise, what's the point in my review? Go watch the raid feeds on Twitter if that's what you're looking for. Now, I'll get into the bugs I did encounter later, but let's first go over what I liked about the game. It may come to no surprise to you, but this is Sonic Colors. I don't know what else to say if you didn't expect that. I was hit with serious nostalgia vibes when playing this that made me remember past enjoyable experiences from this game on the Nintendo Wii. I have to be honest, I slept on the original game a bit too much. I played it through once and didn't give much thought to it again. This wasn't because I didn't enjoy the game, I was more of a fan of the Dark Age. I like a serious tone in my Sonic games, and I feel that Sonic's naive can-do attitude shines as something to rally behind. My first thoughts were that Sonic Colors was a lot cornier than previous entries. Now I know corny and Sonic have always been hand in hand, but I feel in the Dark Age there was something for everyone, whereas Colors is a lot more kid focused. But enough rambling about the Dark Age because I've got a whole video to do on that. Colors Ultimate brought me a lot of joy. The familiar level design welcomed me back, the smooth if not sometimes frustrating controls fit like my Sonic slippers, and the vibrant colours really put me in a good place. Of course, colours overuse of 2D is still present, but for the most part, I found the levels fun and engaging, although granted, some are far too short, particularly if you're playing as Super Sonic. Oh, is this it? Okay. That was fast. Although I'm not a fan of how they've taken over now and sent the Chows to the Shadow Realm, the Wisps are a lot of fun and add a lot of variation in the way you play each stage. Some can take a bit of time to adapt to, but they're enjoyable for the most part. Laser allows you to travel at lightning speeds through, you guessed it, a laser. Spike turns you into a ball that can stick to surfaces and controls the worst out of the bunch. Rocket turns you into a rocket. Hover turns you into a slow floating ring-eating blob. Frenzy turns you into a clunky frenzied everything eater. And the cast is joined by the addition of the Jade Ghost Wisp, who can float through certain walls, helping you access new areas featuring red star rings, tail saves, and park tokens. You'll need all those red star rings if you want to unlock Super Sonic. And with 180 rings in total, it offers a lot of replay value. Lives are gone in Ultimate, meaning you'll end up back at the checkpoint regardless, rendering rings useless besides trying to get that S rank. However, the tail save feature is here to return you to the closest platform should you fall, making the game even easier. Now, the game did have a lot of issues with no warning pitfalls in its previous iteration, and they're still present here, but the tail save doesn't feel like the way to resolve this issue. Park tokens are used to acquire customization items. With Sonic, I tend to not be a fan of variation. His character design and color palette is so on point. I really did love the Sonic movie items that came as a result of the Digital Deluxe pre-order. The electricity coming off him, particularly his eyes, is gorgeous, and I found myself keeping it for the entirety of my story playthrough. Let's talk about our story quickly because there isn't a lot of ground to cover here. Eggman builds an interstellar amusement park to atone for his past sins. Sonic and Tails go to investigate and find the evil doctor is capturing the Wisps and using their energy to power a mind control device that will enslave Sonic's world. That's pretty much it for this one. You go from planet to planet, disconnecting them from Eggman's central space station before destroying the giant elevator connecting it to Sonic's planet. How does the Hedgehog survive in outer space? I'm not going to question it, this is a Sonic game after all. The world is split into 6 areas with 6 stages and a boss in each. So let's break down the zones. We start with Tropical Resort, which is the perfect opening zone for this game. It replicates those Disney World feels, man. Like you're at the gates for the Magic Kingdom about to go in and the guy's like, just check your ticket, and you're just manic, happy and uplifted. Sorry, I just kind of lost myself for a second there. The bright lights, the engaging level design, it all works for me here. Sweet Mountain looks like something out of a Kirby game, and I have no issue with that whatsoever. This whole zone relies heavily on the Drill Wisp that allows you to tear through the cake-like world and explore multiple hidden pathways and challenges. I had a lot of fun in this one, and that was largely due to the Drill Wisp. It can be a bit buggy to control at times, but for the most part, I have very little negative to say about it. Starlight Carnival provides some beautiful aesthetics while delivering fast-paced gameplay. I will admit this section featured a bit too much automation for my liking, but I enjoyed my time here nonetheless. There's something about racing through space as an armada of enemy spacecraft fly towards you that really gets me. I don't know, put it down to the Star Wars fanboy in me, I guess. Aquarium Park is a nightmarish hellscape of slow underwater sections, enriched by traditional Japanese architecture and an incredible set of remixes. These stages really are a sight to look at. The calm, ominous feeling of tranquility approaches you right before you fall into a watery pit of scum and villainy. Hey, we made 2 Star Wars references in one video. This zone is kind of difficult for me because I hate underwater stages, but this place has such an ambiance that I love being immersed in. Next is Asteroid Coaster, a roller coaster ride through an asteroid that would never pass today's health and safety regulations. It's a fun zone, but once again it relies a bit heavily on automated sections. However, these sections don't feel as dull considering the vivid world opening around us. You'll find yourself jumping from coaster to coaster, grinding rails, and homing attacking mini asteroids, which is personally my favourite aspect. In fact, I'd go as far as to say Asteroid Coaster is one of my top zones in the game. Then we have Planet Wisp, one of the most breathtaking zones in the game, whilst also being one of the most tedious. You'll have to use every wisp in the book on this one, which only speaks to the zone's well thought out level design. By the way, I've realised at this point zones isn't the correct terminology, but it's Sonic, so I'ma stick with zones. The soundtrack here is stunning as well, and although it's a dick move to put these remix tracks through a paywall, I certainly loved hearing it pump in the background as I used everything I'd learned climbing Eggman's under construction factory. Finally, we come to Terminal Velocity, the giant space elevator linking Dr. Eggman's amusement park to Sonic's world. And here, all hell breaks loose. You get to outrun a black hole, solidifying the fact Sonic is the fastest thing alive, and take down Eggman's final creation in all its destructive glory. This was a hell of a way to close out this game. The adrenaline was pumping, the stakes were high, it's great stuff, and much more in line with what I like to see in a Sonic game. Once you're done with the story, it's time to go back and collect all those red star rings. Bear in mind you will need to do this, as many new areas become available in earlier stages thanks to new wisps you've unlocked. Then you head to the Sonic Simulator and play through these 7 3-act zones that look like some sort of dystopian Lego-infused nightmare. Once you've completed all of them, you'll find yourself with the 7 Chaos Emeralds, and Super Sonic is unlocked. Super Sonic gives you continuous boost and invulnerability once you acquire 50 rings and activate it. You'll lose a ring every second, and once you're out, then boom, it's back to regular Blue Boy. Super Sonic can't use wisps, however, which can end up slowing down your journey as opposed to speeding it up. Wisp usage gets you a lot of points too, so achieving an S rank with Super Sonic can be mighty challenging. I managed to do it in Terminal Velocity, but haven't had any luck since. It's a fun addition, but it's almost counterintuitive. Unless, of course, you're looking for a nightmare of a challenge, in which case this may be for you. From a graphical standpoint, I really love this game. Now, I know that may be spitting in the face of Switch users right now, but this is my experience. I know a lot of people are unhappy with how washed out the game looks, and I'll be honest, I'm inclined to agree. They could have done better, but I still think a lot of these zones are beautiful and fun to run through and experience. Each area feels alive and makes me wish this was a real theme park. Hello, sir. I'd like 1 ticket to Eggman Land, please. Yes, I would like to upgrade to Fast Track. Thank you so much. As I said, I know things could be better here, and it would seem the reason for this is Sega lost the original game files, so an ISO file had to be plugged into the engine. Jesus Christ, guys, I mean, come on. But I do think the game still looks fantastic. It's a world I want to immerse myself in, and that's largely due to the aesthetic and tone. The same can't be said for those cutscenes, though. This is where things become a little jarring for me. The game looks awesome, and then these janky cutscenes come in and completely take me out of it. They've been AI upscaled, but it just doesn't feel right. The shocking thing is the original animations have been found in the game's files, so they had the ability to make them so much better, but chose not to? I don't know, that seems a little cheap to me. So while I do get one of my favorite Sonic lines to date in HD,
no copyright law in the universe is going to stop me!
It's not quite what I was hoping it'd be. Nonetheless, for the most part, Ultimate looks pretty damn good and is a sight to behold as you experience this intergalactic amusement park. The soundtrack is something I really want to talk about because, as usual, it's a Sonic soundtrack and it absolutely slaps. Each zone has 6 songs. The first 3 stages give you those sweet remixes, and the final 3 give you the classics. I have to say, the Aquarium Park and Planet Wisp remixes may be my favourite Sonic remixes to date. I simply love these and have been listening to them on repeat on my average day today. I like putting the extended 30-minute versions on and just living life, you know? In that original game, you had 3 songs played twice, and in Ultimate, all 6 stages have their own unique track. Which is great, but the option to change which version you hear has been omitted, which just seems really strange to me. With that being said, I think it's time we move on to the important question. Is this a good remaster? No. Now, while I have said that this review comes from my own personal experiences with the game, it would be dishonest and irresponsible for me to not talk about the greater issues people are facing. But let me get my issues out first, understanding that this comes from the place of someone who really enjoyed the game. I encountered a few graphical and audio bugs while playing. Sonic not appearing properly in Starlight Carnival, music disappearing after using wisps or activating Supersonic, the occasional flying out of bounds suddenly, which is par for the course with Sonic games. You see guys, Sonic didn't have the easiest transition into 3D. I got you guys, I almost said it, I'm sorry, I had to. But I have to be honest, this occurred a lot less than in previous titles, so yay for Blind Squirrel. The problem is, a remaster is supposed to offer you the prior game at a higher graphical fidelity and add general improvements. The cutscene scenarios really get to me. The new features added do offer some variety in the form of the Jade Ghost Wisp and Rival Rush mode, but it doesn't add much to the game. In fact, Metal Sonic be out here pulling 2 animations and that's it. The choices with music selection baffle me. You can change your controls, but still can't change the original game's problem of having the double jump and homing attack mapped to the same button. Nothing much is really improved here. The in-game graphics are an exception, but then listen to this. Now I know, Adventure 2 is one of my favourite games of all time, but that was 20 years ago, and sound mixing has been fine in multiple titles before this. So why have we gone to quiet background music while the sound of drowning and losing rings induce a PTSD-infused nightmare? My god, sometimes this game just shook me out of nowhere with this stuff. The customization feels hollow. As I said, I stuck with the movie Sonic aesthetics for my first playthrough, and even the customization menu lags. All of the above need a bit of extra polish, but I feel like I really need to define what polish is. If something doesn't look quite right in the game or sound doesn't come in at the appropriate time, That's where polish is needed. But as for what I'm about to talk about, this game requires a lot more than some light patching. I came so close to buying this on the Nintendo Switch. I sat there and debated whether playing it on the go or having that full HD experience was more important to me. And due to the content and streams I intended to make, thank you to everyone that's checked that out by the way, I decided the PS4 was my choice, especially as I may get a PS5 soon and get an even prettier experience. My god, I made the right choice. The way this plays on the Nintendo Switch is legitimately insulting. I'm not going to include the footage here, you've all seen it, and I don't want someone's epileptic attack on my conscience. This level of glitching is simply unacceptable. Not just from a graphical standpoint, not even solely on the Switch. Epic Game Store owners still can't get the 100% achievement because the drill wisp doesn't work on one of the bosses. PS4 and Xbox users are losing their save data entirely amongst multiple crashes. Now again, I've been extremely lucky in this regard. I would be on some Shadow the Hedgehog level rage if I lost my save data after collecting all those red star rings. Touch wood, that never happens. But regardless of what's happened to me, the fact other players are dealing with this is appalling. Why was this not play tested? We know this was due for a 2020 release, but was delayed as a result of the pandemic. And that means Sega shareholders are looking for a return on investment. But this was released too early. It would have made much more sense to delay the game to November, December to iron out all the issues and capitalize on the holidays. Once again, I find myself confused by Sega's choices, especially with this being the first outing in the world of modern remasters. Colors Ultimate as a remaster needs more time in the oven, a phrase us Sonic fans are all too familiar with at this point. If you've had a similar experience to me when your game isn't broken, then you'll have a lot of fun with Colors Ultimate. But the chances of you getting a game-breaking bug are so high right now that it doesn't justify the price point. Colors Ultimate is in a strange spot right now. It's a great game, it's Sonic Colors, but it's a terrible remaster, and that makes my whole opinion on the matter convoluted. Now, I'm sure the patches are going to fix this. I seriously doubt it's going to be left in this cyberpunk state. When those patches come, maybe I'll be able to recommend it, but in its current state, I don't feel I can. As I've said multiple times, my experience with the game has been nothing but positive, and if I could guarantee that you would share the same experience as me, I'd recommend it in a heartbeat. But doing so would be dishonest considering the sheer amount of undeniable game-breaking issues. The colours are a bit dull on this one, and here's hoping the patches can make it a little brighter. Well, anyway guys, those are my thoughts on Sonic Colors Ultimate. How are you finding the game? Please do let me know in the comments. Slap a like on it, I'd really appreciate that, and most of all, hit that subscribe button, guys. 1,500 subs. It's so damn close. We're going to do it. Please hit that subscribe button for me. Join the hatchlings and plenty more Sonic content to come. Take care out there. Be safe. Keep it locked. It's Calamity Hatchet because that's what it takes to be a Calamity. Lots of love. Bye, guys.